The rain hammered the fire escape like gunfire, and I slipped on the slick metal, tumbling straight into the arms of a stranger who smelled like pine smoke and regret. His grip burned through my soaked shirt, igniting something feral inside me. A scent I'd never known I could release, blooming wild and desperate into the storm. "What the hell are you?" he growled, his voice a rumble that shook my bones. But all I could do was gasp as my world cracked open, secrets spilling out like blood from a fresh wound. That night in Brooklyn, under a sky that wept for fools like me, I learned the truth. I wasn't broken. I was just waiting for the right storm to shatter the lie I'd called my life. My name is Eli Harper, and for 28 years, I'd walked through the world as a ghost, scentless, unmarked, the omega no one could smell. Doctors called it a defect, a quirk of the gene that left me adrift in a society built on sense and instincts. Alphas strutted like kings, omegas bloomed like spring. Betas like me, we blended into the wallpaper, safe but invisible. I worked as a barista in a hole-in-the-wall coffee shop off Flatbush Avenue, slinging lattes to hipsters and hustlers, my days a gray haze of small talk and solitude. No one lingered too long. No one ever did, until Benjamin Kane crashed into me like a freight train. It started innocently enough, or as innocent as a nor'easter in late October can be. I'd been closing up shop, the neon open sign flickering its last as thunder rolled in from the harbor. My apartment was 3 blocks away, a cramped walk-up with peeling wallpaper and a view of the projects. But I hated the subway in the rain, so I took the back alley shortcut, hood up against the wind. That's when the ladder gave way. One rung too worn, one foot too tired, and I was airborne, heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out. He caught me mid-fall, strong hands wrapping around my waist, pulling me flush against a chest that felt carved from oak. Time stuttered. His scent hit first, deep, earthy, like the Adirondacks after a fire, laced with something sharper, like whiskey left too long in the barrel. Alphas always carried that edge, but this one, it wrapped around me, invasive and alive. And then, God help me, mine answered. A rush, hot and honeyed, like wildflowers crushed underfoot, exploded from my pores. I staggered back, but his arms held firm, blue eyes locking onto mine under the brim of a soaked Stetson hat. "You okay, kid?" His voice was gravel and silk, Midwestern drawl cutting through the downpour. Up close, he was older than me. Mid-30s maybe, with salt and pepper stubble framing a jaw that could cut glass, and laugh lines etched deep around those eyes, like he'd seen too much and smiled through it anyway. I nodded, words failing as my skin prickled, every nerve singing. Yeah, ladder. Slipped. Lame, but it was all I had. My scent. My scent. Hung heavy in the air between us, impossible to ignore. I'd never produced one before, not even a whisper. Tests at the clinic said defective glands, a 1 in a million fluke. But now, it was everywhere, marking me as omega in a way that screamed mine to anyone with half a nose. He inhaled sharply, nostrils flaring, and his grip tightened for a split second before he let go, stepping back like I'd burned him. Jesus, you're untouched. The word hung there, loaded. In our world, untouched omegas were myths. Rare birds who dodged heats, bonds, the whole primal dance until fate intervened. But me, I'd just been invisible. Eli, I managed, shoving wet hair from my eyes. And you are Benjamin, Ben. He tipped his hat, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips, but his eyes were wary, scanning me like I was a puzzle with missing pieces. You live around here? Close enough. I shivered, not from the cold. That scent of his lingered, tugging at something deep in my gut, a pull I'd read about in whispers but never felt. Instincts, they called it. Soul-deep bullshit. Thanks for the save. Owe you a coffee sometime. His laugh was low, rumbling. Deal. But next time, watch the damn ladder. He turned to go, but paused, glancing back. Eli, that scent of yours. It's something else. Then he was gone, melting into the rain-slick shadows, leaving me trembling on the alley floor, my world tilting on its axis. The next morning, I called in sick, first time in 2 years, and stared at my reflection in the chipped bathroom mirror. Same hazel eyes, same mop of unruly brown curls, Same 5'10" frame that blended into crowds. But now, if I focused, I could smell it. Faint, but there. Jasmine and storm clouds, subtle as a secret. I buried my face in my pillow, willing it away, but it clung like guilt. By afternoon, panic set in. What if it faded? What if it didn't? I paced the tiny living room, phone in hand, dialing the clinic before I could talk myself out of it. Dr. Ramirez, a no-nonsense beta with a clipboard fetish, confirmed it over video. Latent omega syndrome. Rare, but documented. Triggered by alpha pheromones. Prolonged exposure, usually. She adjusted her glasses, peering at me like a specimen. That touch last night? Kick-started your glands. Welcome to the club, Eli. Heats in 3 to 6 months. Suppressants if you want him. But embrace it. You're not defective. You were just dormant. Dormant. The word echoed as I hung up, sinking onto the sagging couch. My whole life, I'd envied the omegas in the coffee shop. The ones who drew alphas like moths. Their scents blooming sweet and needy during rut season. I'd faked beta normalcy, dated a few guys who bailed when the chemistry fizzled, chalked it up to bad luck. Now, this felt like a curse wrapped in a gift. Awakening hungers I wasn't ready for. I avoided the shop for 2 days, holing up with takeout and true crime podcasts. But rent doesn't pay itself. On the 3rd, I dragged myself in, apron tied tight, steam from the espresso machine fogging my resolve. The bell jingled at noon, and there he was, Benjamin, shaking rain from his coat, hat in hand. Our eyes met across the counter, and the air thickened, my scent flaring unbidden like a distress signal. Large black, 2 sugars, he said, casual as sin, but his gaze lingered, pupils dilating. Up close in daylight, he was even more striking. Broad shoulders under a flannel shirt rolled to the elbows, forearms corded with muscle from God knows. Construction? Farming? That drawl hinted at upstate roots, far from Brooklyn's grind. Coming up, my hands shook as I poured, the cup nearly sloshing. When I slid it over, our fingers brushed. Electric again, a jolt straight to my core. I yanked back, cheeks burning. He sipped, eyes never leaving mine. So latent omega, huh? Heard the buzz around the neighborhood already. Brooklyn's scent grapevine was ruthless. One whiff, and word spread like wildfire. News travels. I wiped the counter, avoiding him. How'd you? Instincts. He leaned in, voice dropping. Yours called to me. Loud. I swallowed hard, the shop suddenly too small. Customers milled about, oblivious, but between us, current, humming. Look, Ben, last night was weird. I'm not. I've never. Shoo. He reached across, thumb grazing my knuckles, deliberate this time. Heat bloomed, my sense surging, sweet and insistent. His jaw clenched, a low rumble building in his chest. Easy, Eli. I ain't here to spook you. Then why are you here? That smile again, crooked and knowing. Told you. Owe you a coffee. Figured I'd collect on the other side of the counter. He pulled out a stool, settling in like he owned the place. We talked, or he did, drawing me out with questions about the city. My beta life? I skirted the truth. His escape from a family dairy farm in the Finger Lakes. Widower. He let slip once, voice flat. Lost his wife to cancer 5 years back. No kids. Just ghosts and a restlessness that landed him in the borough chasing freelance carpentry gigs. By closing, the shop empty. He'd lingered through the rush, our conversation weaving like smoke. Light touches on dreams deferred. The ache of invisibility. You ever feel like you're watching your own life from the sidelines? He asked, tracing the rim of his mug. Every damn day. Yeah, I whispered. Like you're waitin' for the part where it starts. His eyes softened, hand covering mine. Maybe it just did. That touch lingered in my dreams that night, warm, anchoring. Waking to the faint trace of my own scent on the sheets. I didn't hate it. For the first time, I felt seen. Benjamin texted by noon. Got my number scrawled on a napkin, suggesting dinner. Neutral ground. A diner in Park Slope, all chrome and vinyl booths. I said yes before doubt could claw its way in. The diner hummed with Friday night chatter, fluorescence buzzing overhead as I slid into the booth. He was already there, sleeves rolled up, a bouquet of wildflowers, daisies and black-eyed Susans, propped against the salt shaker. "From the bodega," he said, sheepish. "Reminded me of your scent." My heart stuttered. Cheap talk for a farm boy. Nah, honest. We ordered burgers, fries, the works, and the conversation flowed easy, like we'd known each other lifetimes. He spoke of his wife's laugh, how it echoed in empty barns. I confessed the loneliness of scentless days, faking smiles at packed gatherings I wasn't part of. "Thought I was beta forever," I said, dipping a fry. "Safe. Boring. Boring's overrated." His boot nudged mine under the table, accidental on purpose. You're a goddamn revelation." Heat crept up my neck, but I held his gaze. After walking me to the subway, the autumn air crisp with falling leaves, he stopped under a street lamp, shadows dancing on his face. "Eli, this pull, it's real, but I'm an alpha with baggage. You deserve." "Shut up." I stepped closer, emboldened by the wine in my veins or the scent of him wrapping around me like home. Our lips met, soft at first, tentative, then deepening as instincts roared to life. His hand cupped my jaw, thumb stroking my cheek, and my world narrowed to the taste of him. Salt and pine, promise and pain. We broke apart breathless, foreheads touching. "Come back to mine?" The words slipped out, vulnerable. He hesitated, eyes dark. "Not yet. Let's do this right." A chaste kiss on my knuckles. Then he hailed a cab for me, watching until taillights faded. That night, alone, my body hummed. Not heat, not yet, but awakening. Scent blooming fuller, dreams tangled with his face. Benjamin Kane wasn't just a stranger anymore. He was the key to the cage I'd never known I was in. But keys can lock as easily as they unlock. And in the weeks that followed, as autumn bled into winter's bite, I learned that some doors hide rooms full of shadows. The first snow dusted Brooklyn like powdered sugar on a stale donut, and Benjamin became my constant. Texts at dawn, stolen lunches between his job sites and my shifts, evenings tangled on my couch watching old westerns, his arm heavy across my shoulders. My scent had settled into something steady, a quiet bloom that turned heads now, alphas lingering at the counter with hungry eyes. But Benjamin? He claimed me without words, a low growl whenever one got too close. His presence a shield I leaned into harder each day. "Your trouble?" I teased one night, curled against him in the dim glow of my string lights, the radiator clanking like a faulty heartbeat. We'd kissed until my lips bruised, hands roaming but stopping at shirt hems. Respectful, reverent. "No rush," he said. "Let's build this like a house, foundation first." Trouble's my middle name. His fingers traced lazy circles on my arm, voice thick with that drawl. "Kane boys are born with it stitched in our genes." "Tell me about them. Your family." I pieced together fragments. The farm, the loss, but the rest? He guarded it like a vault. He stiffened just a fraction, but I felt it. Nothing to tell. Dad's a hard-ass alpha, Mama's the glue. 2 brothers, older ones, both mated, pups running wild. They think I'm the black sheep, chasing city lights instead of cows. "And your wife?" I asked soft, regretting it instant when his scent soured, sharp with old grief. "Clara." He exhaled slow. "Met her at 18, married at 20. She was beta, steady as oak. Cancer took her quick, pancreatic, no warning. Left me hollow." His hand found mine, squeezing. "Thought I'd never feel this again. Not till you fell into my arms, scent and all." I turned, kissing his jaw. "I'm not her replacement. Never." Fierce, eyes locking. "You're Eli. My Eli." That my scent shivers racing, instincts purring low. We made love with our words that night. Stories swapped like secrets, vulnerabilities bared. He confessed the farm's debts, how he'd fled after Clara's funeral to outrun the pity. I admitted the clinic visits, the shame of being less than. By dawn, snow piling silent outside, I knew I was falling. Hard, reckless, no net, but cracks spiderwebbed in, subtle at first. "A canceled date, emergency at a site," he said. Then another, voice tight on the phone. "Family bullshit," he muttered when I pressed. I let it slide, chalking it up to alpha pride, but doubt gnawed. My heat loomed, Dr. Ramirez's warning echoing. First one's a hurricane, suppress or ride it out. Benjamin offered to stock my place with blockers, but I waved him off. Wanna feel it. With you. His face lit, but shadows lingered in his eyes. Soon, darlin'. Promise. The weekend before Thanksgiving, he took me upstate, his neutral ground. A cabin on the farm's edge, leased to a cousin but empty for the holiday. The drive wound through frost-laced hills, his truck rumbling as we sang off-key to Springsteen. Born to Run blared, wind whipping through cracked windows, and for hours, it was perfect. Us against the world, scents mingling sweet and wild. The cabin was rustic charm. Stone fireplace, quilt-draped bed, a porch overlooking frozen woods. We cooked chili from scratch, laughing when I scorched the beans, his hands guiding mine over the pot. Like this city boy. Clothes, breath warm on my neck. Dinner by firelight, then slow dances to crackling logs, his body solid against mine. In bed, barriers crumbled. Kisses turned urgent, hands exploring with a hunger held too long. Tell me if it's too much, he whispered, peeling my shirt away, lips trailing fire down my chest. I arched, scent flooding the room. Jasmine storm, needy and raw. His touch was worship. Fingers mapping scars I didn't know I had, mouth coaxing gasps I'd saved for dreams. We moved together, instinct guiding, bodies sinking in a rhythm older than words. No pain, just union. Deep, soul-shaking. Afterward, tangled in sheets, his heartbeat thundering under my ear, he murmured, "You're my bond, Eli, if you'll have me." Tears pricked my eyes. Yes, God, yes. We marked it casual, necklace for me, a simple chain with a carved pine cone. Bracelet for him, leather etched with wildflowers. Tokens, he said, clasping mine, till we're ready for more. Bliss lasted 3 days, snow blanketing our world. But on the drive back, his phone buzzed relentless. Unknown number, silenced but insistent. He gripped the wheel tighter, jaw set. Ignore it. Who is it? Nobody. Lie sharp as glass. Back in Brooklyn, the city swallowed us, but the buzz followed. Late nights he slipped out for calls, returning scented with smoke and strangers. Alpha packs, I told myself. My heat hit mid-December. A fever dream of need that left me curled on the bathroom floor, blockers failing. Benjamin was there, cool cloths, whispered comforts, his presence a balm. Breathe through it, love. I'm here. He was. Through the haze, his scent anchored me, hands gentle as we navigated the storm together. It bonded us deeper, instincts sealing what hearts had claimed. New Year's Eve, we toasted with cheap champagne on my fire escape, fireworks blooming over the skyline. To us, he said, clinking glasses. Against the odds. To awakenings, I echoed, kissing him as the city roared below. January brought ice storms and whispers. At the shop, regulars nudged. Heard your alphas got history. Pack debts, bad blood. I brushed it off, gossip's currency in Brooklyn, but unease festered. Benjamin grew distant, eyes haunted, touches lingering like farewells. One night, post-shift, I found him on my stoop, head in hands. Ben, what's wrong? He looked up, wrecked. Eli, I gotta tell you something. My stomach dropped. Anything. But the words stuck, and instead, he pulled me close, kissing like it was the end. Love you, he breathed. More than air. We made it inside, bodies crashing in urgency born of fear. Slow this time, reverent, every caress a vow. But dawn brought truth knocking like a bailiff. His phone lit up. A text from Dad. Pack meeting tonight. Let's do it. Bring the Omega or else. Omega. Me. And debts? What the hell? He caught me staring, face ashen. It's not. Explain. Voice steel, heart fracturing. Sigh ragged. My family's in deep. Loans from a rough pack upstate. Enforcers breathing down our necks. Clara's medical bills started it. Farms bleedin' red. They think. A bond to a latent Omega like you? Rare. Valuable. Could buy favor. Alliances. Ice in my veins. So I'm what? Collateral? No. Fierce grab for my hand. Ifolgting. left for this reason. But they found me, tracked your scent through the city grapevine. Betrayal hit like a slap. Not just the secret but the shadow it cast on us. All those cancelled nights, the hesitations? Shields for this? How long, Ben? Since the alley? God, no. That was real. You are real. Tears in his eyes. Alpha tears, rare as hen's teeth. I was running from them when I caught you. Your scent. It grounded me, gave me hope. But now, he deflated. They want to meet, to assess you. I said hell no, but threats. The farm, my brother's families. I paced, scent souring with hurt. And if I say no, then I lose everything. But I'd choose you, every time. The words pierced, but doubt lingered. Love or desperation. I need space, Ben, to think. He nodded, broken. Whatever you need. Kiss on my forehead, then gone, door clicking soft as a gunshot. Alone, I shattered, sobs racking, instincts wailing for my alpha even as rage boiled. How much was real? The touches, the promises? Or a convenient salvation wrapped in wildflowers? Days blurred. Shifts on autopilot. Friends' concerned texts. Words spread fast. Dr. Ramirez prescribed anti-anxiety meds. But nothing touched the ache. My scent dimmed, retreating like a wounded animal, mirroring the numbness creeping in. A week later, he showed. Unannounced, snow melting in his hair, eyes pleading. Eli, please, hear me out. Against better judgment, I let him in. Coffee poured, we sat at the kitchen table, ghosts between us. It's over, he started. I told him no, full stop. Sold my truck, scraped savings for a partial payoff. We're cutting ties. Relief ward with wariness. And start fresh. You and me. Leave Brooklyn if we have to, head west, Portland maybe. Build something ours. Tempting, that vision. Road-tripping sunsets. No packs. Just us. But trust? Fractured. Ben. I love you. But this? It guts me. I know. Voice cracking. Hate myself for it. But I'd do anything, to fix us. We talked till midnight, peeling layers. His guilt over Clara, fear of failing again. My terror of being a pawn, not a partner. Tears flowed, sense mingling bittersweet. By end, tentative bridge built, counseling boundaries time. Instincts say bond now, he murmured, hand in mine. But hearts need healin' first. Wise farm boy, smile fragile. We kissed soft, sealing not claiming promise of more. Spring thawed the city and us with it. Therapy sessions in a cramped midtown office, Dr. Ellis, a beta sage with a dry wit, guiding us through minefields. Benjamin opened veins. The pack's toxic alpha code, debts as shackles, his flight a bid for freedom. I unpacked invisibility's weight, the joy and terror of blooming late. Dates recommenced. Picnics in Prospect Park, his hands steady in mine. Nights cooking disasters, laughter echoing. My scent steadied, fuller, drawing not just him but confidence. At the shop, I quit hiding, chatted up customers, even flirted harmless back. Benjamin watched proud, his own shadows lifting. But summer simmered threats. A letter arrived, and signed, reeking of upstate pine. Blood calls to blood. Omega's ours by right. Walk away or we come for what's due. Fear iced my spine. Benjamin's face hardened. They won't touch you. We fight, I said, fierce. Together. We did. Lawyers consulted. Pro bono from a queer legal aid. Pack elders petitioned for severance. Allies emerged. His cousin, a beta firebrand, rallying farmhands. My Brooklyn crew, sense united in solidarity. Climax brewed at a neutral meet. Abandoned mill outside Albany. July heat thick as molasses. They came pack strong. Dad Kane, grizzled alpha with eyes like flint. Brothers flanking, sense aggressive. Benjamin stood tall beside me, hand laced in mine. He's not for sale. We're done. Snarls rippled. Dad's voice thunder. Boy, you owe us. That Omega's scent rare as gold. Bond him to one of ours. Debts vanish. No. My turn, voice steady despite terror. I'm no one's debt. And Ben's no pawn. Laughter cruel. Scentless runt thinks she's pack? Wait, she? Misgender, deliberate barb, but I held ground.
alias Omega, Prod.
And loved. You don't own us. Tensions peaked. Growls. Shoves. But Benjamin's cousin intervened. Papers thrust. Severance paid. Farm liens transferred. Take it or court. Dad's bluff called. He relented, grudging nod. Pack dispersing like smoke. We drove back silent. Then euphoric. Hands clasped over console. We did it. I breathed. You did. Ben corrected. My brave bloom. Fall returned. Leaves gold as our tokens. On our anniversary, the alley fall. He proposed. Not with rings but vows under that same fire escape. Rain pattering soft. Eli Harper. Scent of my soul. Be my bond. My home? Tears yes, kiss ceiling. Ceremony small. City hall. Friends witnessing. Sense weaving eternal. No pacts, just us, humanistic triumph over instinct's chains. Years on, in a Portland craftsman house, garden wild with jasmine, we built more. Adopted a beta kid from the system, her giggles filling silences. Benjamin's carpentry shop thrived. I wrote memoirs of awakening, helping other latents find voice. Some nights, storms rage, and I remember that alley touch, the spark that lit our fire. Betrayal scarred, but love healed, deeper for the break. In a world of scents and secrets, we chose each other. Not despite flaws, but through them. Human, messy, whole. And in his arms, scent blooming shared. I know. Instincts awakened us, but hearts kept us free.